Yeah, we go. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Oh. Ready now? Ready now? Yes. Thank you.
That could happen. Nice.
I have a
Right before.
crack one. Yeah. it didn't go
That was okay. I went first, and then you had one.
I know this. I like with different colors. Like, oh my god, it's such a
Yeah. Really good.
And one of the things you said that your speeches were good.
Yes, yes.
We're on live.
Got it? All right. Good morning. Oi. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at our October 15th, 2025 meeting of the Committee on Budget and Finance is being called to order at this time. I would like a roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Akaka.
No.
We can't hear her.
Yes.
Trustee Akina. Excuse Trustee Alapa.
Present.
Trustee Galuteria.
No.
Trustee Kahele.
Present.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Souza. And Trustee Wahe.
Present.
Quorum established.
I
Mahalo.
said, I don't know if you can
Hi.
hear me.
At
Okay.
this time, I'd like to acknowledge my staff that is here behind me. I have Summer Soares as my secretary, and first trustee aide is Ohai Ryan. Mahalo, you guys. At this time, I'd like to welcome everyone once again to our Budget and Finance Committee. First of all, I'd like to go over the rules here. Press one to the Article 12 of our bylaws, most recent edition of Robert's Rules, Section 49-21 for small boards, which is us. Number one, trustees must be recognized by the chair before speaking. Number two, members may remain seated while making motions or speaking. Three, motions need not be seconded. And four, informal discussion is allowed while no motion is pending. And number five, the chair may speak in debate and vote on all questions. We also ask that everyone follow Article 17 regarding order and decorum, address the chair, remain respectful, and avoid interrupting speakers. Public testimony will be called on in each agendized item and limited to 5 minutes per speaker. There will be a 30-second warning so that you may know when to wrap up your interview. At this time, I'd like to recognize our COO, Keishan Kikina, to introduce any of your staff members joining us today.
Mahalo nui. Hello, my kako. Mahalo nui, Chair, Vice Chair, and Trustees. From administration, we have with us today our Interim Administrator CEO, Summer Silva, Investment Director and Interim CFO, Ryan Lee, General Counsel, Everett Ota, Senior Director of Strategy and Implementation, Ilana Farden, Senior Director of Hawaiian Cultural Affairs, Hailama Farden, Director of Human Resources, Cory Nakamoto. Director of OEV Wellbeing and Aina Momona, Ku'ike Kamakea Ohelo. Interim Director of Land Assets, Lori Walker. Director of Community Engagement, Lisa Vaughn Sekona. Grants Manager, Chantel Belay. Director of Communications, Bill Brennan. Operations Manager, Royce Campbell. And IT Systems Engineer and Administrator, Daniel Santos. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Keisha. At this time, I'd like to, our first agenda item is approval of minutes. Do we have a motion for that?
So moved.
Do we have anyone to speak on this item? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Chair Lapa,
Aye.
Trustee Galutaria,
Aye.
Trustee Kahele,
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe.
Yes.
Somebody missed you.
All right, mahalo for that. Oh, hi. All right, at this time, it's the, we're going to item number 3, new business. We're now going to, we have 12 sponsorship action items and 3 non-sponsorship action items. It is anticipated that there will be community testifiers for our sponsorship action items, and therefore I'm asking for a unanimous consent to take these matters up first. Any objection to taking action items B through M out of order? Trustees? Right, seeing none, we'll proceed. Our first 2 sponsorship action items are BF 25-84 and BF 25-85 will need to be deferred, as I'm asking for unanimous consent on the deferral. Are there any objections to this deferral, trustees? Action item, the BF 25-84 and BF 25-85.
Items B and C.
Yes,
Chair,
yes.
I think just for our beneficiaries and the organizations that applied for these sponsorships, if there can be a justification for why we're deferring them.
Yes, so it has been brought to my attention, there is not enough information between these 2 organizations that, from what I understand, fall under one, and utilizing a 501c3 by both parties, both entities within the organization. We're needing to find out why is it like that. And I would rather us not be caught in the middle of that particular their discussion amongst each other, that we'd like to have our administration meet with us so that we can understand more about the situation at hand between the 2 groups within this organization.
You plan to bring it back?
Yes, I do plan on bringing it back once we have a understanding of where they stand.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, if I have permission to, I would love to hear from Chantel Belay, our grants manager, regarding this issue.
Sure.
Thank you. And if I may ask a question to Chantel, sorry. Chantel, in regards to the justification that Chair Kahele has asked, in regards to the 2 different grantees, could you clarify exactly what was stated? If that is said to be true, they're the same organization, or are they 2 different organizations with 2 separate FEIN numbers? Thank you.
Thank you, trustee, for the question. So in our evaluation process, we did find that these are 2 separate organizations. They both completed the application in which they both supplied their IRS forms that indicated that they each have their own FEIN number. They also supplied their CBC forms, which is part of our process, and their W-9 forms, also part of our process, and all showed them to be 2 separate organizations. With that being said, we did ask for guidance on continuing the process because they both have events with the same names, so they're on different days. And it was recommended that we put them both through the evaluation process as we would with all of our eligible organizations that apply for sponsorships.
Follow up.
Yeah.
And so was that process done?
Yes,
And so this process, they went through the vetting process and this was presented.
yes. So they each were evaluated by two specific individuals or two teams and put through the process like every other organization with evaluators making their independent recommendations.
So I think we heard it firsthand. So Madam Chair, if I can follow up with a question to you. Can I follow up with a question to you, Madam Chair?
Yes, I was.
So we just heard from our grants manager. So my question to you, going back, because the justification was we're gonna go back and make sure they're not the same organization. We just heard from our grants manager, they're not the same. It was vetted. So what would be the next step?
November 12th is what we're going to take it up and bring it back to our board.
Okay,
So we're going to just do a little bit more research before we make a final decision.
Okay.
And so that both parties will be satisfied and that we ourselves as trustees did our due diligence.
thank you.
Couple weeks.
Right on.
Okay,
Thank you.
mahalo. You got it. All right, thank you. We're going to move on. Our next action item is BF. I'm sorry.
You want to clarify because it was
Yes.
questions that there are no objections.
Okay. So just want to make sure that there are no other objections at this point, so we can approve the deferral. All right, thank you. Do I need to do roll call on that?
It's unanimous consent, it's fine.
Thank you, trustees. We're going to move on to action item BF 25-86. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item? And
Yes.
let me read the action item. BF 25-86 is approval of OHA funding for Ho'akoakoa Lahui event sponsorship to Kamolokai Makahiki Inc. for the Kamolokai Makahiki 2026 event on January 22nd through the 24th, 2026 in the amount of $11,250. Do I have a motion?
Move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, trustee Waihee. Any discussion, trustees, on this item? And can we have our testifier at this point?
Yes, we have a testifier online. Dr. Pulama Lima.
Go ahead. She can't hear me. She's muted.
Aloha.
Can you unmute yourself?
Can you
Are you
folks hear me
unmuted?
okay?
Yeah, now we can, louder.
Okay. Mai ka'i. Aloha mai kako, Chair Alapa and trustees of the Budget and Finance Committee. My name is Dr. Pulama Lima and I serve as the board president for Kamolokai Makahiki. Mahalo nui for the opportunity to testify in strong support of our Ho'akoakoa Lahui event sponsorship request for Kamolokai Makahiki 2026. For more than 40 years, Kamolokai Makahiki has stood as a pillar of cultural pride and unity for our island. First revived in 1982 by our community leaders at Kupuna, the Makahiki festivities continues the tradition of honoring the season of Makali'i, time of peace, rejuvenation, and abundance. Across generations here on Molokai, this gathering has strengthened our community's cultural identity and well-being, grounding us in our kupuna and our values that guide our community today. Our upcoming 2026 celebration will build upon that legacy. This is a 3-day event that will bring together Kiki to Kupuna from across Molokai, as well as those from neighboring islands and afar. The festivities include traditional games, hula performances, a ho'olaule'a, as well as educational programming designed to deepen our community understanding of Makahiki season for students, families, and visitors alike. Each year, we partner with Molokai schools to prepare students through classroom lessons, demonstrations, and friendly competitions that culminate in the island-wide Makahiki Games. These games are much more than sport. They cultivate discipline, strategy, endurance, and humility, while really reinforcing values of respect, ceremony, and excellence. For our OPO, participation in Makahiki represents more than personal achievement. It is an accomplishment that carries the pride of Ohana, and school as well as district. And to compete is to stand as a representative of our community to honor those who have trained the Haumana and have supported the Haumana throughout the year. For the first time since COVID, we are also extending an invitation to schools from neighboring islands to return back to Molokai to compete alongside our athletes. This exchange is not only revives the sense of inter-island unity, but also reaffirms Molokai's historic role as gathering place of champions and a teacher, really, of the Makahiki tradition. This year, we're also hoping to reintroduce hula as an integral part of our Molokai Makahiki traditions, reviving a practice deeply rooted in our oral histories and our mo'olelo. Historical accounts and oral histories tell us that hula competitions and performances were once central to our Molokai festivities, and so we are happy to bring that back this year as part of our celebrations. The requested OHA sponsorship of $11,250 will support essential costs for logistics, supplies, educational materials, marketing, as well as community coordination, ensuring that this beloved event remains free, accessible, and a cornerstone of Molokai's cultural life. On behalf of our board, our volunteers, and the Molokai community, we want to mahalo you folks for your consideration and taking the time to hear our testimony. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo Pulama. Thank you so much for your testimony. At this time, trustees, is there any other discussion on this? All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Chair Lapa,
Yes.
Trustee Galutaria, Trustee Kahele,
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahe'e,
Yes.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Mahalo, everyone. We're moving on to action item BF 25-87. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item? Do you have anyone? Yes or no? Oh, yes. Hi. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. Go ahead. Have a seat and introduce yourself.
Aloha nui kako, aloha chair, vice chair, members of the committee. I'm Mickey Alalidstone from Uluwa'e Learning Center. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify in support of our event, Makahiki Makapole. This is our 9th annual event at Pu'u Kapole, and we just had Molokai on, and there's a connection between the pahula and Molokai, in that Uncle John Kaimikawa really designed the pahula at Pu'u Kapole with the pa at Ka'ana in mind, and he was very visionary in what Pu'u Kapole has become today. This event celebrates our Native Hawaiian practices. It's more than participants being spectators, but actually participating in makahiki games and workshops and mele, coming together as community, as families. It's really about pilina and connection. And we also honor our volunteers during this time, our volunteers who have contributed to the abundance of our Kupuna Hill in caring for Pu'u Kapole throughout the years. This particular year, we're going to do something new with a partnership with Never Stop Dreaming. We will open our games an hour before the actual event to referee games for their kamali'i. And the kamali'i of Never Stop Dreaming are those that are on the spectrum, and they have quite a large number of Native Hawaiian families and kamali'i who have never participated in makahiki games. And so we'll do a private refereeing of games for them, so they can do so with no judgment from those who still have yet to understand the situation. And so it's a beautiful event. I welcome you all to come out. You look like a competitive bunch. It would be wonderful to have you come out January 31st at Pu'u Kapole in the afternoon. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Yeah, that was like 40 years ago. I could have done that. All right, thank you. Next, we'd like to, any other testifiers? Okay,
Not at this time.
thank you. Seeing none, roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, trustee
sorry.
Galutaria. I think it's.
Yeah.
for-
I wanted to ask, it's a definitive kind of question. When you mentioned, you're gonna open up 1 hour early for those on the spectrum.
Yes.
What is that? What do you mean, spectrum?
Those have never put through me, those who are on the autism spectrum.
Autism.
Oh,
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Mahalo.
Color my first, not me.
no problem. Go. Thank you. All right, just a reminder. Trustee Souza? Oh, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Thanks, Chair. I just had a question for the administration from the scoring perspective of scoring.
Sure.
Thank
That's,
Okay.
Chantel.
Hey, Chantel. So I was just reviewing the score sheet and the requested amount was $5,500. But the score, the scoring was scored as a 36, which was only like 2 points above the cutoff. Like if it was a 34, they wouldn't have been qualified for anything. And I'm wondering why the score was scored low and where it was given Bikiala's testimony on the application. Were there things that they were asking for that couldn't be counted in their request?
think- Thank you for the question. I think the main concern, looking at the evaluators forms, were just the number of attendees. And I think, this event going into its 9th year, I think it's more than just about the number of, participants that are there, but it's the impact, on the community. And I know Pu'uo Kapolei is a very central part of the Kapolei community. And of course, we follow the will of the board, and if the recommendation is to increase, we fully support that as well. This is a worthwhile project.
Well, I'm just wondering, because it was at a 36, it would need to get to a 40 to qualify for 75% of their ask. So that's like four additional points. And I don't know if there are categories that could be made up. It's not like it was a 39 and you're just
Right.
1 point away from.
No,
a
there
40, right?
there are
So-
categories, and I think again, one of the, I guess, criteria that we're looking at evaluating for next fiscal year is this idea of the larger versus smaller events.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It is a 39, yes. It was scored at a
Yeah.
39. Yeah, I'm sorry. My fault. I thought I saw 36. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but that is an area we're looking at how to revise for FY 27 cycle. I think there's a lot of questions if we just are evaluating based on crowd size versus the impact that the events have on our communities.
Okay,
Anything else?
thank you for the explanation.
Go ahead, trustee Galutaria.
Thank you, Chair. You know, this board has acted before, and it wouldn't be exclusive that we would increase a funding process. What do we have to do to take it up to the next level, being 1 point away?
Well, Chair, do you mind if I answer that question?
Absolutely,
I think
go
one
ahead.
of the things that was driving down the weighting of this particular scoring was the opportunity for OHA's presence at the event. Mikiala, what would be afforded to OHA, or what would you be planning to have OHA there in as it was proposed, or what could be added?
Definitely a table for OHA, for registry information. We've had the OHA table at our Makahiki event prior to COVID, several times. Logo on the banner, mentioned during the event, and all advertising as well.
Would you like me to? Trustee Souza?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Trustee Kahele, you have another one?
Well, I mean, I do, to answer trustee Galatera's question is if the board, felt it appropriate to increase the scoring, from the administrative team by point, then that would qualify the event for 75% of their ask, which would increase their sponsorship amount from the $2,750, which is the recommended amount, to $4,125, which I probably could help.
Absolutely.
You could have that too, but yeah. But yeah, just to answer that, trustee Galtieri, that would be one, that would be one option. It's also a pretty, it's not a $15,000 sponsorship, so this is, I mean, we could also support the full amount as well. Thank you.
Trustee Souza.
Well, Madam Chair, and I do agree with what Trustee Galatieri is saying, and since we have the opportunity now, and I think it needs to be at the will of this board to increase the amount and also to justify 9 years, right? 9 years, and yes, it is in my community, but because of that, I know the impact, and what Mickey Alalim are doing, and I fully support amending this motion. I don't know if this is the right time to amend. Would this be the right time to amend? When is the event?
The event is on January 31st, but I must mention, it is 9 years, but the first probably 5 years, we had zero advertising, and the event was mostly for our volunteers. And it was sort of it was run by our volunteers, totally free. No one we put up our own tents. So the first 5 years was really, really grassroots. We had no funding for advertising, so it was all word of mouth. But January 31st on Saturday.
And to Kai's point, to Chair Kahila's point, this is a pretty conservative ask at $5,500, and we want to do the most we can. And so, if there's an opportunity, Madam Chair, to amend this action item, I would love to do so if this is the time.
Absolutely. So we're going to basically need to have Trustee Waihe withdraw your initial motion,
Or yes, he can.
or you can amend it.
I can amend my own.
Oh, okay.
We can revise.
Okay. We'll just revise it then. Go ahead, Trustee Kahele.
Thanks, Chair. So, I mean, one option is we could do it now. Another option is this event is not until January. We're in the window for these sponsorships. So we have BNF coming up on October 29th. We can do this then with the proper justified scoring sheet. And if we get it 6 points up to 45, then we can justify the full amount, and maybe Chantal and Mikiala, we can work on that. That would be a suggestion. It could be done on the fly now, but I think wait. Yeah.
Agree.
So I would withdraw your motion, and then I'll defer this.
Trustee Souza, did you have something else you want to add? Okay, we're good. So we're going to withdraw that.
You withdrew the motion, we'll do unanimous consent to defer this to the October 29th.
October 29th. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. With a unanimous consent, we're going to move this to the October 29th BF committee meeting. Any objections, trustee? Okay, there being none, roll call. Oh, no need roll call for that? Oh, okay, it's a deferral, right? Gotcha. It's unanimous. Got it. All right, moving on. Thank you so much.
Mahalo. I'm deeply grateful. Mahalo nui.
Oh, yes.
Thanks, sir.
All right, so we're going to be moving on to action item 25-88. Do you have anyone to sign up that has signed up to speak on this item?
We have a Kaliko Grace who is signed up to testify virtually.
Okay. Kaliko, are you here? Oh, also as a reminder, before Kaliko gets on, we want to remind everyone of, especially for the testifiers online, to raise your hands so that our staff here can recognize you. And then we'll be sure not to miss you, especially when these action items come up. So please remind, as he said, remind our testifiers online to raise their hands when their action item comes up. All right, go ahead. Kaliko.
Kaliko, please unmute yourself.
Aloha, I'm actually Kamele Kaplan still from the Kohala Center. Yeah, representing for Kaliko. So yeah, I'm Kamele. I'm representing the Aina of Namoku, who is in the district of Hamakua on Hawaii Island. Namoku is stewarded by the Kohala Center, and we are requesting these funds to support the 10th La Kalo. Once ravaged by sugar production, Namoku is now growing into a native food forest, nourishing collections of kalo, ava, ko, and other culturally relevant crops, who are often given freely to the community so that others may also carry on the legacy of our ancestors. La Kalo is the most developed of our Mahi'ai events and allows us the opportunity to provide an accessible space for the Lahui to learn, hana, and connect with Ohana and Aina. La Kalo gathers hundreds of practitioners and community members from every generation and every moku on Moku Okeawe to engage with Haloa. During this day, we huki and kanu the collection, provide hands-on learning opportunities, and distribute huli for folks to grow these rare kupuna varieties in their own mala. La Kalo grounds participants in Hawaiian traditions, values, and Aina-based practices that center Haloa as kumu and the sustainer of life. At La Kalo, we perpetuate not only generations of these kupuna kalo varieties, but also generations of Kanaka sharing their love for Haloa.
Mahalo, Camilla. And
Mahalo.
it's time for, is there any other testifiers? Okay, so once again, for action item BF 25-88, approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akokoa Lahui event sponsorship to the Kohala Center, Inc. for the 2026 La Kalo event on January 31st, 2026 in the amount of $11,250.
So moved, Madam.
Any discussion, trustees? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Thank you, trustee. Chair Lapa,
Yes.
trustee Galutario,
Aye.
trustee Kahele,
Aye.
trustee Lindsay, trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'i.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mahalo. Moving on to
Mahalo,
action
nui.
item BF 25-89. Do you have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
Yes, we have virtually a representative from Family Promise of Hawaii.
Okay, so let me read the action item for this and then we'll have you testify. Action item BF 25-89, approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akokoa Lahui event sponsorship to Family Promise of Hawaii for the 2026 Brighter Futures Gala event on February 12, 2026 in the amount of $10,000. May we have our testifier, please?
Yes, aloha, Chair and Trustee.
Ryan. Aloha.
My name is Ryan Catalani, and I serve as Executive Director at Family Promise of Hawaii. Thank you again for considering an event sponsorship for our 2026 Brighter Futures Gala, and I join you today to testify in support. As our name suggests, Family Promise of Hawaii is all about family. We are uniquely focused on serving all families with children experiencing homelessness, with teams on Oahu and Maui that serve thousands each year. We were founded 20 years ago, and today we provide emergency shelter, rental assistance, case management, and community-based, culturally rooted wraparound services. The Brighter Futures Gala is Family Promise's annual fundraiser to help end the crisis of family homelessness. It's truly a crisis because young children are more likely to experience homelessness than people of any other age, and Native Hawaiians are at the greatest risk. Sponsorships go directly toward Family Promise's proven solutions to preventing and ending homelessness for children and their families. We estimate that proceeds from the 2026 gala alone will end homelessness for about 120 children, parents, and family members, including about 70 to 80 Native Hawaiians. This sponsorship would support several OHA strategies and strategic outcomes, including strategies 5, 6, and 7, which are about supporting efforts to meet the housing needs of Ohana and strengthen their economic stability. OHA sponsorship will help families rent or even own housing that meets their needs, increase their safety, stability, social support networks, and cultural connection, decrease out-of-state migration for Native Hawaiians, and increase the number of Native Hawaiian Ohana who are resource stable. Thank you again for your consideration and your time today, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Trustees? Yes, we have Trustee Lindsay here. Would you like to ask you a question?
Aloha nui. The Brighter Futures Gala is Are you charging for the people, the homeless people, to go to this gala?
No, this is more for our donors and sponsors. We do have families from our programs who attend and share their stories, but there's no charge to them.
Oh. And you're charging your donors to go to attend this gala?
Correct. Yeah, it's it's meant as a fundraiser to support the program. So yes.
Okay, so you're asking us for $10,000 to raise funds for your program?
Correct, yes. And then the sponsorship would also include a table, a premier table for OHA, seating for 8, and some other benefits as well.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, trustee Kahele.
Hey, thanks, Chair, and thanks for Brian for jumping on to provide testimony. You know, in your application, it talks about the purpose for the gala is to support 30 families, up to 120 people,
Mhm.
including 70 to 80 of them being Native Hawaiians. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
That's correct. Okay. And looking at the item number 21 on the application, which you had just mentioned as an impact sponsor, it comes with several items. This application scored on the higher end of our score sheet, and as a result, I believe the requested amount is what has been recommended by the administration for approval. I think the one thing that would have scored higher would have been the opportunity for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs to be able to speak at the event at the gala. Is that something that we could add to this sponsorship?
Yeah, I mean we're certainly open to that. Yeah, that could be arranged.
Okay, so on your application in item number 21, in addition to the brief description of each items that would be part of OHA sponsorship, we can add the opportunity to be a part of either a keynote or say a few remarks at the gala on behalf of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, given that there's a significant amount of Native Hawaiians at this event.
Yeah, we'd be happy to have you speak.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other trustees? Okay, all right, any more testifiers at this time? All right, seeing none. I need
Trustee-
a motion.
Trustee Ahuna has joined us.
Oh. All right, trustee Ahuna is here with us. At this time, I'd like to call for a motion for this particular item.
So moved.
Mahalo, trustee Waihee. Trustees, any discussion on this anymore? All right, let's have a roll call, please, on this action item.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Akaka.
I want to make sure I'm hearing it correct. Is it for the amount that was recommended, or is it a higher amount?
It was for the amount recommended. It was for the amount recommended
Okay.
of 10,000.
And is it where we're looking to keep it at that amount and it's based on a speaking opportunity?
Yes, as
Make sure I'm hearing clearly.
yes, as trustee Kahele had inquired regarding extra, a bonus, if you will,
Yeah.
to have a speaker from our organization, and they'd make room for us. at the
So is
event.
it where is this going to be amended?
No.
No. So we're
So
keeping
basi-
it.
Yes, we're keeping at the amount. What trustee Kahele was asking if we could possibly speak at their event. And Ryan was kind enough to say we'd make room for you folks, of course. So that was it. That was it.
I
Okay, continue on with roll call.
Chair Lapa,
Yes.
Trustee Galataria,
Aye.
Trustee Kayale,
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe,
Yes.
motion passes.
Mahalo. I'd like to move on to action item BF 25-90. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
Yes, we have someone virtually, Ka'apuni Awohi.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to read the action item and then I'll ask for a motion. Action item BF 25-90 is approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akoakoa Lahui event sponsorship to Pacific Whale Foundation for the 2026 Malama Ina Kohala event on February 14th, 2026, in the amount of $7,000. May I have a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Right? Any trustees discussion on this item? At this time, if seeing none, I'd like to call upon our testifier.
Chair, we also have someone in the room that will be testifying, Jacob Aki.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna have him come up. Let's have the virtual.
He's the next one. He's the
next one, not
Oh, he's not in this one. Sorry. Kalamai.
What's his name?
Kalamai, yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Is Ka'apuni online?
yes, Ka'apuni. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so nervous. It's my first time testifying for you guys. But mahalo for having me over o ka'apuni li ona lani ki'ikiri. Kanalo e wohi. No hono koha Maui Mael. Born and raised on Maui. So the organization that I'm part of is Pacific Whale Foundation. It was created on Maui 45 years ago in a way to protect the ocean animals. And to this day, a lot of what we do, we actually are a nonprofit that we do research that we partner with the university. We're probably the premier whale and dolphin research organization throughout Hawaii that's based right here in Maui. We do education and conservation where we take we take a portion of every elementary school in Maui on whale watches. And so the event that we are doing is a Malama Ina Kohala event. This would be partnership with Maui Ocean Center, and we work closely with their cultural advisor, Dane Maxwell. And so the purpose of this event is to kind of bring the community along with the organization, what we do. We do so much research. We've published over 100 peer-reviewed studies. And so this would be an access point for the community, specifically Hawaiians, to kind of join and learn about the different organizations related to ocean conservation that have a cultural lens to them. So most of the funding that we would like to do is provide funding for those organizations to attend. A lot of times Hawaiian nonprofits don't have a community engagement person, so we would like to kind of provide some kind of stipend for them to attend. The main partner that we work with is Kia'i Kanaloa, where on the Noa Whale Sanctuary, our chief scientist works with the chief cultural officer to kind of move forward and find a way for us to move forward in this space. And so really like our purpose is to, as we move forward, bring our community along and give access points for Native Hawaiian students to use specifically Koholaba ocean conservations as a way to join this industry. So yeah, mahalo.
Mahalo. Trustees, any questions? Go ahead, Trustee Kahele.
Hey, thanks for jumping on and providing testimony. And I love taking my kids to the Maui Ocean Center, so I'm sure it'll be a great event. I noticed the event is only 4 hours. It's like, is that correct? From starts at 10 and is done at 2. It's a pretty quick event. There's a lot packed into it, and the expected attendance is 3,000 people. Is that I guess in the events in the past, is that accurate?
Yeah, this event is similar to the community event we did last year. It's usually about 3,000 people, give or take. Probably a little bit more. The facility is open from 9 to 4. So it just kind of gives everyone an hour to kind of do what they need to do logistical wise. The space would still be open all day. But just those hours, we would specifically have people staffed and booth and ready to engage with the public who come up to their tables.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, thank you so much. Trustees? Any other discussion at this point?
So the recommended amount is 7,000,
It is 7,000 as stated, yes.
which is, I guess, half, of the amount they scored as a 35. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, we're good. All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna, please unmute. Trustee Ahuna? Trustee Akaka?
Aye.
Chair Lapa?
Aye.
Trustee Galataria?
Aye.
Trustee Kahele?
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay? Trustee Souza?
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe?
Yes.
And Trustee Ahuna?
Dan, with us? He's
Yes.
saying he,
I know he's trying.
nice,
Trustee Ahuna is trying.
yeah. Wait, I can't even see him. Yeah, he's, I don't see him. Is he on? Okay, where were we last? Is he the last one to call for?
Yes. Motion passes.
Okay, motion passes. Mahalo. Thank you very much.
Hey, mahalo ko.
Kaupuni, mahalo. All right, so we're going to move on to our next item, BF 25-91. Do you have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
We have two testifiers, one online,
Okay,
Kaleolani Alo, and in person, Jacob Aki.
all right. Okay, so let me read the action item. 25-91 is approval of OHA, funding for the Hoa Kokoa Lahui event sponsorship to Hui Makua o Kawaihau, Inc. for the 2026 Holo no Olelo 5,000 event, 5K event on February 22, 2026 in the amount of $10,000. Gonna have a motion for this item.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Mahalo, Trustee Wahehe. And this time we'd like to call upon our testifiers. Let's begin with our virtual first. What is her name?
Kaleolani Alo.
Kaiulani.
Kaleolani
Yes,
Alo.
are you here?
Okay, Jacob Aki.
Come on down, Jacob.
Test. Okay. Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, members. My name is Jacob Aki, and I'm here today as a makua of the organization, and a proud parent of a keiki who attends the school. Also present today are some of our parents who are also here in support of action item BF 25-91. As parents in the Punana and Hawaiian language programs, we see every day how powerful it is when our keiki are surrounded by their mother tongue. Both for our language to truly thrive, it needs to exist beyond the classroom, in our homes, in our parks, and out in the broader community. And our proposal for the Olelo Hawaii 5K run really helps to make that possible in a fun and meaningful way. We planned this during Hawaiian Language Month, and this event gives our community just another way to celebrate the vibrancy of our language by coming together to run, walk, crawl, and learn through our through the language. Everything about the event, from the signage to the announcements to the mele oli and the trivia that will be integrated into the program, really immerses participants in the language, while also sharing the mo'olelo of Maui, which is the theme of Punana Leo this year. For us and for our group, this is more than just a 5K. It's just another effort to how do we normalize our language beyond the classroom. And when our keikis see and hear our language spoken out in the broader community, it really reinforces that our language is alive, it is relevant, and it's something to celebrate every day and not just at school. So we thank you folks for your time and for your consideration, and really for your efforts to continue to not just promote the use of our language, but to encourage everybody. So we are available for questions, and mahalo for your time.
Mahalo. Thank you, Jacob. Trustees, any questions?
Real quick, can anybody hear me?
Who's that?
Yes. Yes, trustee Huna.
Oh, okay, trustee Huna. Yes, we can hear you.
I'm alive. Thank you.
Thank you for being alive for us. All right, thank you. There's nothing else for you.
Okay, and we invite all of you to come and run and walk with us as well.
Oh.
So, mahalo.
Yes. Do we have our online testifier? Is she available?
No.
We don't, is she here? I heard a voice. All right, at this time, we're gonna move on with the, did I say the motion? With the roll call? Yeah, you, trustee Wahi made the motion. At this time, I'd like to have our trustees, we're gonna go into a roll call for item BF 25-91.
Trustee Ahuna.
Kanalua, I can't hear anything. I just listening to the votes.
Oh, yeah. Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Chair Lapa.
Yes.
Trustee Galuteria. Trustee Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahe.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mahalo. Moving on to action item BF 25.
And if you guys like call on me on yes too.
Oh, he wants, okay, he wanted to change his vote to an aye. Instead of-
No, I Kanalua at first and then I said aye.
Yes. We're going,
Yes.
yes.
So you gotta call on me
Mahalo,
again, yes.
We forgot to go back to him.
Yeah, yeah, you forgot to, yeah,
Trustee
thank you.
Ahuna?
That's a better answer. Yes, thank you.
Affirming that your vote is a aye. Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Okay.
All right. All right, now we can move on to our next action item, 25-92. Do we have anyone signed up for this particular item?
Yes, we have someone virtually. Mahealani Kale.
Helani. Okay. I'm going to read the action item. 25-92 is the approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akoakoa Lahu event sponsorship to Nurture Cultivate Inc. for the second annual Panini Makahiki event on February 28, 2026 in the amount of $15,000. Do I have a motion?
Sure.
Mahalo, trustee Waihee, and open for discussion. We'd like to have our testifier please come on.
Aloha nui kākou. This is Mahealani Keo with Nurture Cultivate Inc. Aloha. And our event in February is the closing of Makahiki Panina and not Panini Kalamai. But the purpose of this event,
I'm sorry.
mahalo for the opportunity for me to come and share about our future event. Our purpose of this Panina Makahiki event in February is to celebrate our Hawaiian culture and close this Makahiki season with the haumana of two of our Hawaiian language immersion program schools that we have here in Ko'olauloa, and to connect our community with culture. And the event is really a celebration of our practitioners, normalizing our Hawaiian practitioners and bringing them together in a safe space and continuing our relationship with the Ritz-Carlton Oahu at Turtle Bay. Last year was our first event and it was a really successful, beautiful day. We opened with protocol with the rising of the sun and went straight into our competitive games with all of our haumana. We had over 30 to 40 participants, and we did have 20 cultural practitioners sign up. However, a lot of them went to the Hokule'a celebration, but even though we lost some practitioners, we still had a great turn up. And a couple of the highlights is the language that was seen. Everything was done in Makaulelo, Hawaii. We had our MC who was fluent in the language. The reffing was done in Olelo, Hawaii, and it brought out more of our community members, more of the makua and the ohana of our hamana. A lot of the hamana that are in our Kaiapuni program are people that move to Oahu or move to Ko'olauloa. So there's a disconnect in our community members and our Hawaiian culture. So being able to not only share space with everyone, but to educate everyone about our Hawaiian culture, our Hawaiian practices. And for me, I'm really proud of our culture and to be able to just do Hawaiian things with our Hawaiian practitioners and bring everyone together for this beautiful, fun event. And also all the malihini that are guests at the Ritz-Carlton, that whole Turtle Bay, Kuilima area. We actually had a few families just walking by the event and they asked, "So what are you guys doing?" So we shared what we were doing and they signed up their kids. They're like, "Can my kids sign up?" And one of their keiki won one of the games that we had. So that was really fun and it made me feel so good that we're here sharing and teaching and this is our home and a way for us to teach visitors to come and respect our culture and respect our home here. So that's really the vision behind having this Panina Makahiki here and be able to teach our own kids about our kupuna and the practices that they've gone through. So we have a bunch of weavers, a bunch of healers, la'au people coming to participate with this event. And kalamai, we expect to reach about 1,500 attendees coming. I just met with the venue host and their question is, how can we make this bigger? It's like, well, as long as we are sticking to our original vision of normalizing our Hawaiian practices through this event, the goal is to reach all of Ko'olauloa and in the future the neighboring mokus of Oahu. And we did pre-COVID a couple of our grade levels at Ke Kulakaiapuni o Hau'ula. They were invited to the Moloka'i Makahiki Games. So that's another goal of ours, is to be re-invited to the Makahiki Games at Moloka'i and have a great representation of Ko'olauloa, Oahu there at Moloka'i. So this is February 28th, our Panina Makahiki at the Ritz-Carlton, Turtle Bay in their open field. So mahalo for this opportunity to share.
Mahalo Mahealani. Trustees? Any for her? All right. Thank you once again. Do we have another testifier? Did you say two? There's none? Okay. All right. At this time, you have a motion for it? Motion out there? Oh, trustee, yes, you did. Okay, so at this time, we'd like to do a roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna.
Kanalua.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Chair Lapa.
Yes.
Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Trustee Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mahalo nui.
And I am the Kanaloa too.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Ahuna.
How you guys doing?
We hear you.
Sorry, but you never call me back. I already heard take motion pass, so I don't know. Are you calling me back because you need my vote or motion pass?
It was requesting your vote. Will you be voting aye on the last item?
Are you gonna
Yeah,
call me
you
back
can
after
record,
Kanaloa,
so-
or you're not gonna call me? Okay, whatever. Kanaloa then.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to our next item on our agenda is action item BF 25-93. Do you have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
Yes.
Hang on, I'm going to read that.
We have Maureen Foldale, Mike Demota, and Bob Westerman.
Okay, so we have several. All right, hold on. So action item BF 25-93 is the approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akoakoa Lahui event sponsorship to Friends of King Kaumuali'i for the 2026 Honoring Ancestors and Planting the Future event on March 6th through the 21st, 2026 in the amount of $14,400. May I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, let's open up for discussion and let's bring out our first testifier.
Is Maureen online? Mike Demota, Bob Westerman. Friends of King Kaumuali'i. No one is responding online.
Unmute. Hello, I'm here.
How's your hand up? Yeah, they're answering.
Oh, God.
Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I think I am unmuted.
Yes, we can hear you, but you may have to, we're going to add, oh, there you go. Go ahead. Please
I'm good.
proceed.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Aloha kakou and mahalo for allowing me to speak on behalf of Friends of Kaumuali'i and our project coming up in March. I'm shuffling papers. Did all of you get the photographs that I sent? Hello?
No, we didn't. Trustees, did you receive any photographs from?
Not from her.
No? I
No,
cannot
we didn't.
see you. I can just see myself. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here, but
Okay, so we did not receive any photos.
oh,
but at this time-
okay. I'm sorry to hear that. What I had sent was, well, let me just say a little bit as preface then, as I was going to start with. So I wanted to share that Pa'ulaula, if you don't already know or haven't visited, is in the Konamoku on the west side of Kauai, in across the river from Waimea town. It's a very, the area is rural and agricultural and a lot of low income, and there's a high needs area there. And that is kind of the part of the basis for wanting to have this event in our own area, and why to a certain extent the story of Pa'ulaula, whose name for 150 years was erroneously called Fort Elizabeth, has kind of disenfranchised the community. And though we changed the name had the name changed officially a couple years ago, and erected a statue of King Hamuli'i, there's still very many people who really don't know or have kind of tuned out to the area as a sacred place, even though they are Hawaiian. So it's a kind of a continuous effort on our part to embrace more of the community and to heal not only the site itself by replacing all the rubbish invasives with healing native plants, but also to heal the people in the community and have them join us in that work. And the resource part of our event, the resource day on Saturday, is to invite cultural practitioners and environmental practitioners, organizations to do hands-on and informational tables to invite people to share in the experience of healthy living, healthy food, and the issues of food scarcity and a destroyed environment be part of the healing for the human and non-human ancestors. So to begin with, I probably won't have time to tell that story, but it's a good one. It's like a truth is stranger than fiction story of how it came to be called Fort Elizabeth. But now that it's back to being Pa'ula'ula, the Hawaiian name, and the king is there, we feel like we're kind of on a roll. I am the vice president of the Friends of King Hamuli'i. It was founded by Auntie Alitha Ka'ohi, who was a direct lineal descendant of the king, and she was from her family passed on the gift of being a keeper of culture and accepted the mission from her ancestors to erect a statue, which was done in 2021, and to bring an understanding and appreciation for Kaumuali'i as a high king who ruled in peace, not in war.
I'm sorry, we have 25 seconds left to wrap up.
Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness. All right. So anyway, there's the resource event, there's a talk, and there's the most important first step of addressing the burials that are makai of where the statue and the rest of the fort itself exists. And that's why the map that I sent, it's a 17-acre site. So most of the activity that existed was around the statue, kind of by the road and above the fort. So below where the kauhale was and where the burials were just scraped into a heap by plantation era.
Thank you so
Brady.
much. Your time is up. Thank
Okay.
you so much for giving us your testimony. We're going to, any other testifiers at this time? Seeing that there are no other testifiers at this time, trustees, do you have any more discussion on this item, action item 25-93? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna.
Yes.
We heard you, yes. Trustee Akaka.
Okay,
Aye.
goodbye.
Okay.
Chair Lapa.
Yes.
Trustee Galuteria.
But
Trustee Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe.
yes.
Motion passes.
Right, mahalo. Moving on to our next item, action item 25-94. It is approval of OHA funding for the Hoa Koakoa Lahui event, sponsorship to Ho'olehua Homesteaders Association for the 2026 Prince Kuhio Day Ho'olaulea and Play Ke Kaua o Kalahui, the Life of Prince Jona Kuhio Kalani Anaole event on March 14th, 2026 in the amount of $5,000. May I have a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Mahalo. At this time, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, we have someone signed up, Luann Favorito
Okay,
from the Homestead Association.
All right. Aloha, Luann. You may.
Aloha, good morning, everyone.
morning.
Thank you so much for having us and for considering our application. Next year, we are going to try something different. Instead of our community event in the park, we are going to bring that play to Molokai with a luau for all our homesteads to be a part of. So obviously our biggest expense is going to be transportation to bring all the actors, directors, and kokua here. But I know some of you have already seen this play. We would like to bring it here to Molokai for all our homestead associations and for the island community at wide. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Luann. Trustees, there are any questions? All right, seeing none. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Trustee Alapa,
Yes.
Trustee Galuteria,
Aye.
Trustee Kayale,
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay,
Aye.
Trustee Souza, Trustee Wahe.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right,
Mahalo.
moving on to our next action item, 25-95. Action item is approval of OHA funding for the Ho'ako'oko'a Lahu event sponsorship to the Waianae Coast Community Foundation for the 7th annual Prince Jonah Kuhio Kalani Anaole Festival event on March 21st, 2026 in the amount of $15,000. May I have a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Mahalo, Trustee Wahehe. Any discussions, trustees, on this particular action item? Do we have any testifiers at this time?
We have Patty Taruya signed up. We also have written testimonies that was distributed to each trustee this morning.
Okay. All right, may we have Patty Taruya?
Aloha, aloha, Madam Chair. Aloha,
Aloha.
Chair Kahele and esteemed trustees. I was actually going to head out in attendance, but I'm fighting a cold, so thank you for this opportunity. I did put something together. Mahalo nui loa for the opportunity to submit testimony in strong support of the Ho'ako'oko'a Lahui event sponsorship for 2026 for our 8th annual Legacy Prince Jonah Kuhio Kalana Anaole Festival to be held on Saturday, March 21st, 2006 at Kalana Anaole Beach Park, a treasured Hawaiian homestead trust land. When I was appointed to the Department of Hawaiian Homelands as an Oahu commissioner in 2019, I observed that many homesteads stateswide were celebrating the legacy of Prince Kuhio. It inspired by these celebrations, I brought together fellow homesteaders to our organization to create a space for our own community to honor his memory. Thus, this festival was born, not just to celebrate, but to educate and uplift our lahui by reconnecting the legacy of Prince Kuhio and the deepening of gratitude for our Aina and homestead lands. As a beneficiary, it has been an incredible rewarding experience to help reunite our homestead communities through this gathering. The festival has continued to grow each year, but in size and impact, we are thrilled to expand once again in 2026 at the beautiful oceanfront setting of Kalana Anaole Beach Park. This year, event promises to be most vibrant yet featuring our networking with Kumu Val Manoa, Kawai Wahona Charter School, leading arts and crafts, cultural activities, lei making, coloring contests for our elementary schools of Prince Kuhio. We're also offering free bouncers and rides and games for our keiki and our ohana. Live melee by talent local artists, hula performances from various halaus, Ono food, crafts and vendors, our nonprofit informational booths, In Peace, Kamehameha School, Nanakuli Neighborhood Board, Waianae Neighborhood Board, HPD to provide keiki and kupuna IDs, and also, this is new this year, to encourage Hawaii Food Bank to participate in distribution of food, also with giving away clothing and many, many more activities. As we close, we will showcase an amazing fireworks show for the evening in fellowship of Aloha. We respectfully request your continued support through the sponsorship opportunity, which helps us to perpetuate the legacy of Prince Kuhio, strengthening our community ties and celebrate our cultural land and people. Mahalo, mahalo for your time, consideration, and unwavering commitment to our lahui. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Patty. At this time, I'd like to ask our trustees, have any questions for Patty? All right, thank you. There's none. Mahalo. At this time, we'd like to do a roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Trustee Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Souza. Trustee Wahe'e.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you so
Mahalo.
much. All
God
right,
bless you.
everyone. That was quite a bit of sponsorships today, and mahalo trustees for your time and consideration of these sponsorships that's brought before us, and naturally to help improve the conditions and, of course, the educational aspect of our culture to our beneficiaries, so that they may continue to provide these programs and events for our lahui. At this time, we'd like to move on to our next action item, and this is for BF 25-82, and it's the action item approval of Office of Hawaiian Affairs Administrator's base salary for the fiscal year of FY 2025, effective November 1st, 2024 through October 31st, 2025, and increase in FY 2026, effective November 1st, 2025 through October 31st, and associated with alignments. Sorry. Is this the same? Yeah, I'm sorry. With alignments of funds from the FY 2025, FY 2026, and FY 2027 core operating budgets. The proposed action of motion 1 is approving the following 2025-26 annual salary increases for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs OHA Administrator position based on the established contract annual start date of November 21st, 2023, FY 2024 to be as follows. FY 2025 base salary at $260,000 retroactive to November 1st, 2024, and to reflect 12 months, November 1st through 2024 through October 31st, 2025, and FY 26 base salary at $270,400 as of November 1st, 2025 through October 31st, 2026 at a 4% increase from the FY 2025 base salary, in line with salary step increases in the Commission on Salaries report and recommendations as provided in contract 4374. And this motion is based on, during the October 2nd, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting, trustees expressed concern that underpaying and reducing the role of the OHA administrator to equal an executive branch tier 2 department director would harm the organization's ability to recruit and retain high caliber talent and diminish the status and overall importance of the agency's top administrative level. Trustees noted that the administrator serves as the lead executive OHA, a quasi-governmental agency entrusted with executing the operations and our strategic plan aimed to better the conditions of our Hawaiian people, Chapter 10 HRS, and the Native Hawaiian Recognition, Chapter 10 HRS. The BOT has historically maintained the administrator's compensation above all other executive leader positions, including the Chief Financial Officer, the Managing Director of Real Estate, and the Investment Director. Each of the aforementioned positions are direct reports to the administrator, and yet based on approved 2026 biennium budget are budgeted between $250,000 with Investments Director salary of $300,000. Now, in recognized administrators' broader scope of authority, responsibility, the current $200,000 base salary is grossly misaligned and lacks equity with the other members of the executive team, which the administrator supervises. Moreover, the administrator's salary is severely lagging behind other administrator or chief executive officer position in its peer group. It is critical to note that the OHA administrator, the trustees also noted that the 2025 State Salary Commission tier levels and salary classifications used to determine the executive branch director's annual salary increases should not be used as a yardstick and a determining factor to inform OHA's administrator salary increases. So based on authority, the OHA Board of Trustees shall independently determine the annual salary of its administrator's position, recognizing the unique government role of the agency and the complexity of the responsibilities that this administrator is tasked with. Now, it's also critical to note that the OHA administrator has not received an increase for the entirety of a year 2, as required by the administrator's contract, November 1st, 2024 through October 31st, 2025. So this action item provides a comprehensive justification for setting the OHA administrator's base salary of 2025 at $260, retroactive to November 1st, 2024, and establishing a 4% increase, as noted for 2026 to $270,400 as of November 1st, 2025. Now, this document includes comparative data, statutory grounding, risk-benefit analysis, and trustees are asked to adopt this compensation recommendation as part of the 2025-2026 budgets. In addition, I'd like to extend a huge mahalo to the administrative staff, Grace and your team, for working really hard on putting together this comprehensive presentation so that we as trustees are making informed, intelligent decision for the position of CEO and the amount that is warranted, the salary for that particular position. At this time, I'd like to also make note that if you turn on to page 4, we have a chart. And this chart, it's administrator's role in scope and contract duties that outweighs the CFO for that matter. And if you look at the functional domain of what the CEO is tasked to do, the key responsibilities and the weight and the risks that he or she must endure, it is quite a stark contrast to what any positions comparative to the CEO, because of the increased amount of heavy burden of which is carried on a daily basis, and that the oversight that our CEO/administrator must operate on this strategic plan that we have instilled. The compensation and market alignment. This is a table of comparable administrative and CEO leadership. So that gives you guys a good idea of where we're looking at and where our CEO leadership compensation stands amongst these top organizations, from the Kamehameha Schools to Liliuokalani Trust to the CNHA Council. And then, of course, there's our Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And you're going to see the context of the difference of these compensations for the amount that is each organization overlooks, from a $15 billion endowment all the way down to a $600 million endowment. Our OHA CEO administrative position is obviously quite low. So this is something that I want all of us to consider when looking at the salary compensation for the position of our CEO, and the base that is pretty conservative as far as I'm concerned, and the actual ability for OHA to be in the most competitive position so that we can attract the highest talent to serve as our CEO/administrator. At this time, though, I'd like to also bring to the attention that the board has already approved in our recruitment and retention in internal equity. The board has already approved $250,000 salaries for the CFO and the managing director of the real estate, justified as essential for recruitment and retention to ensure that OHA is an employer of choice. Secondly, the administrator, as the organization's leader, must command a modest premium over subordinates to stave off internal inequity. Moreover, the imbalance of C-suite compensation will discourage top candidates from applying for the position in the future. And then, of course, if there's too large of disparities between these salaries, between the administrator and the senior executives that are also under her, they would also undermine the cohesion or signal under evaluation of the top post in the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And conversely so, offering a competitive but not extravagant base salary signals respect for the stewardship of our public lands, our funds, and while valuing our top leadership and the immense tasks that he or she must move forward for our administration, for our OHA agency to thrive at the highest level. At this time, trustees, I'd like to open up for discussion on the administrator's salary.
Can I go first? Can anybody hear me?
Is that Dan? Dan? Go ahead.
Is that yes?
Sounds really loud.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. It's so frustrating right now, the time that I have to speak right now. I'm having a hard time, but I'm very concerned because just the other day I went in for an evaluation for our CEO, because right now we're doing the evaluation and all that. I just wanted to ask the chair, why are we doing? We didn't even evaluate her yet, and who's coming up with this? That's my question to Chair Alapa.
So in our last trustee meeting, I was asked by Chair Kahele to basically it's homework that I had to do in order to bring to the board, before the board, the salary position of the CEO. And this is why it is here today that we're discussing this since our last board meeting. And with the homework that we had to do over the past week and a half, we've had our administrative staff from Grace, Ryan, and so forth to help pull together all of this information so that we are well equipped and well informed to make intelligent decisions on the salary for the CEO position of OHA. And that is why we are here discussing it today.
Is this a CEO position or is this just for Stacy? Is this a CEO position or is it just for Stacy? Because I heard you talking about Stacy, the CEO Stacy, and we're doing a reevaluation for her right now. So, because you talked about
no, it's
Stacy.
not.
You didn't
Sorry.
talk about CEO salary. You mentioned inside everything that you said, you talked about Stacy and what she was doing and everything about Stacy. So I'm confused right now. Are we talking about a salary increase for CEOs or are we talking about Stacy? Because right now we're going through a process and I don't know where this process fits into all of this.
No, we are not talking about the person occupying the position right now. It is strictly the position itself and not the person. So this is not about.
Okay, I would like you to take back all what you just said, because you talked about the former CEO, Stacy Ferreira, and you did. I'm so sorry.
Yes, there was a portion of that in the agenda we're talking about.
Can you repeat yourself, Luana? Can you repeat yourself?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes. No. Can you repeat what you talked about in the beginning? Can you just read the whole thing, just so everybody knows? Because I know what I heard.
Okay, I'll reread the motion. So the motion is regarding approving the FY 2025, FY 2026 annual salary increase for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs Administrator based on the established contract annual start date of November 1st, 2023 through 2024 to be as follows. The base salary of FY 2025 base salary of $260,000 retroactive to November 1st, 2024, and to reflect 12 months. Yes, November 1st,
Okay,
2024
stop right there. Retroactive. Who are you talking about? Retroactive.
2025. Oh, I can't.
Who are you talking about retroactive?
The administrative position. That's
Okay,
what we're talking
I'm confused. I'm just going to sit back and listen to what other people have to say.
Okay.
But I just don't understand what is going on right now, because this is like undermining what the trustees have been working on this all these months. So I'm very confused right now, and it's like undermining almost. You know what I mean? Like we all make decisions, we all make votes together, and then we move on, and you know, we're going through an evaluation process, and now we're trying to mix in with retroactive and using words, all that. You're talking about one person. So I'm just really confused, but I'd like to hear more trustees speak about it.
Okay, that's fair enough. At this time, I'd like to open up discussion to our trustees here in the boardroom. Go ahead, trustee Galataria.
Just for some clarity, was there any coordination? I believe you said there was, and if there was, I would like to find out a little bit more about how the action item actually was put together. And you mentioned our own administration being involved.
Yes,
So there was a lot of collaboration and coordination.
not with the, when you say not the entire administration, basically we were working with our Grace that handles that department, and of course, Brian. So we're looking at the numbers, we're looking at all areas, and I can have Grace. Grace, would you kindly come on and explain your position and what you guys have done to help us come to this understanding of what the administrative position salary is about, and clarification for the amount, and of course that we have the funds available. Go ahead, Grace.
Aloha, trustees. So after last time's October 2nd meeting, I received an email from Chair Alapa to run through the numbers on if she were to propose this revised salary in the motion one that we're seeing. So I ran through the numbers, and then these are the results. As well as should this be approved, then I also make sure that that there are funding in order to cover. So that's the extent of my contribution to this action item.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So I just want to ensure that it's going through the proper channels, because I didn't see any signature from our current administrator. Should it have been appropriately going up the line? No?
This is an opportunity for all of us to be able to contribute our mana'o to all that has been brought before you, that everything here was researched, evaluated, and brought before us so that we know that you folks will be able to make an intelligent decision based on all that's placed before you. So if you had a chance to read all of the items that we are listing to justify the action item, as I've been instructed, to do the homework on this particular position of our CEO and the salary warranted for that, based on the amount of work and the different responsibilities I've already expressed and shared that you folks have right before you that you could read, so that you also, again, will understand why that position and the amount of monies that have been brought that have been warranted for that is justified. So if we, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. Go ahead, trustee Souza.
Hello, Madam Chair. I think I want to clarify based on the 3 times that Rickwood had asked this question, and I don't think the question was answered. I'm sorry, I may have missed it. But I think his question was the current administrator, formerly known as the CEO, but our current administrator, because I don't see her signature on this. So Rickwood Trustee Galataria is asking, has it moved up the proper channels? Because I see, and this is a kind of unique situation, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I see an aide, a trustee aide here as the first signature, and that trustee aide is Pohai Ryan. It's a very unique situation because when I put together my own committee agenda, it's either my recommendation prepared by myself or it's administration. It's never usually my aides or secretaries who signs off because an administrator didn't sign off. So I just want to make sure, was there any collaboration or coordination with our current administrator? And what was the answer? No. Okay, so who actually put this action item together? Just so we understand. The chair. Okay.
We coordinated all the information. So we spent several days together going over everything so that so we're able to provide this for you folks in the best possible way you can understand, and how these numbers we arrived at, as stated here in the folder. And so it's going to come back down to do we want this position to be paid in what it's worth, or do we allow this to go to another level in which it's not worth much? But we do want to keep in mind that we do want to attract the best possible CEO, for example, to be able to oversee OHA and administrative aspect of it and all the responsibilities that come forth.
Madam
So-
Chairman, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. So that's why the amount to be able to pay the right amount for I think should be even higher. In fact, I also have a statement I'd like to read from Trustee Aquina, because he's unfortunately not able to be here. So just to throw in his 2 cents, so that he basically asked me to say, please, we could read this. And I said I would. So our colleagues, I rise to speak on the action item before us, 25-82. Unfortunately, some misinformation has circulated regarding this matter, including certain media outlets, and I'm going to refer to Civil B. At the outset, let me make one point absolutely clear. The salary is not the issue before the board today of the person occupying, i.e. Ms. Ferreira. The question is, the matter before us concerns appropriate salary or the salary range for the position of our CEO, one that enables us to attract and retain the most qualified, capable, and visionary leader of this organization. I think that's the area that we should really focus on in regards to that position. It is our duty as trustees, obviously, to recruit and retain the best people fully capable of implementing our strategic plan. And it's, of course, it is designed to uplift our Lahui through our economic, housing, and so forth. But the CEO position is also responsible for building and leading OHA's largest professional workforce, generating billions in perhaps new revenues under this board's direction, and advancing one of the most ambitious initiatives in our organization's history, i.e. our strategic plan, the Manang Mauli plan. Moreover, this leader must possess the maximum expertise that OHA's existing assets, our 13th largest landholder, and as an investor managing $750 million in the stock market. And the CEO must be able to collaborate with the board to secure OHA's constitutional right to its fair share of all revenues derived from the 1.8 million acres of the public land trusts. So these are just some of the extraordinary responsibilities, and I know you guys are aware of that.
No, Madam Chair, if I may follow up to
Go
my
ahead.
previous question. And now that you just stated the job posting, I realize I do not meet the minimum qualifications. So thank you for that. I want to follow up on my previous question. And you said no, the current administrator was not a part of it. And obviously we know because she didn't sign off. Can I ask as to why the current administrator was not a part of preparing this proposal or action item?
Well, at this time, we are doing our best on our own to be able to look over all aspects of the amounts that we're looking at. So whether it was the administrator or not, we have to still ensure that we were responsible on our behalf as a chair and as our staff to be able to fulfill this particular aspect of the salary.
May I follow up to that?
Sure.
And again, I don't want to get to a back and forth, but I just want to know, because when you stated earlier, Trustee Kahele had tasked you, I think this board has tasked you because you have expressed to us that you wanted to come to your committee. And at that point, due diligence was done. So it's like, okay, go back to the committee, bring it back to the board. That's the process that we're going to adhere to at this time. And so during that process, I'm speaking for myself, I expected you as the chair of this committee and the person who is head of the due diligence process, right, for the CEO's salary and addressing that, to come back to the board and exhaust all options, give me the most information possible to make an informed decision today. When I see a paper, and this is not even the meat and potatoes of this conversation, hopefully we can move along after this, after I finally get my question answered. I would love to see collaboration with administration, and hearing that we did it on our own does not give me the confidence to support an action item. Who is us? Who is our own? Who is the influencers in regards to this proposed action item? And that's kind of what I want to answer before we even get into the meat and potatoes of this. Sorry, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Benson,
I'd like to say something
Sorry,
else
go ahead.
too. I'm so sorry.
go ahead, Trustee Kaheli.
Sure. Thanks, Chair Lapa.
Yeah.
I have a few things, but just to follow up on what Trustee Souza said. So this action item that you brought before the board is a two-part action item.
Yes.
The second part of the action item is a realignment of the budget. Is that correct? And as you know, we passed our budget for the next biennium in July. And there are two ways that we adjust the budget. We have adjusted through a budget adjustment, which is minor adjustments of the budget, or we adjust it via budget realignment, which is essentially a major reforecasting of the budget. Per our executive policy manual, and I'll read it verbatim, a budget realignment is essentially a reforecasting of the total budget. Budget realignments are prepared by the administrator through the chief financial officer and presented to the Board of Trustees for approval. So why was this realignment, proposed realignment, not prepared by the administrator per our executive policy manual, which we just adopted on September 4th?
So it is with my understanding as a committee chair that I would take this upon myself to be able to do that. We did not seek anything with the current CEO with Summer. I wanted to gather as much information, and I thought that with this that we have before us would suffice to be able to bring that back. And if I made that mistake without getting an approval or any of that is Kalamaya for that.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just highlighting what our
Yeah.
executive policy manual says.
Yeah.
The budget realignments are not prepared by trustee aides.
Yeah.
They are not prepared by, they can be prepared in coordination with the budget and finance
Right.
chair. But it's explicitly should be prepared by the administrator because a realignment is a major reforecasting of the entire budget. And so that's, one part of my concern.
Sure.
The second part is, I think this action item is attempting to do way more than really the original task at hand was. And part of the request to waive the Budget and Finance Committee direct to the board at our last meeting was because OHA as an organization had not met up to that point its contractual obligations between a legal document and that this board through its previous chair executed 2 years ago and the current administrator, and which should have taken effect on 1 July. Because of the time sensitivity of that, I brought this in front of the board and it was decided to refer it back to the BNF committee to do further due diligence on what that recommendation would be. But that was, to be clear, the task at hand. It was it was a very narrow tasking to look at the Salary Commission's recommendations to the legislature, because that is what the contract requires. The contract requires a step increase for our administrator's contract, the legal document, that is in line with the commission's report and recommendations. That's it. doesn't factor in performance evaluations. It doesn't factor in or compare other positions here at OHA. It's purely to look at the legal document that this board has with its administrator and to recommend an increase that is in line with the Commission on Salary Report and Recommendations. That's it. We can have a separate conversation at another time about performance evaluations and additional pay increases and modifications to the contract. But we are here because the contract says shall. It should have been effective 1 July. It could have been done when we adopted our budget. It wasn't. So we are addressing it now. If this language wasn't in the contract, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But we're required to because of the legal document that we have, because this was included in the administrator's contract when the previous board counsel, Mr. Klein, and our chair at the time executed this contract in October of 2023. That's why we're here. And so I think that the recommendation from the committee that if adopted will then come to the board will be a recommendation to either keep the current administrator's salary where it is or increase it in line with the Commission on Salaries Report and Recommendations. Now, we had a discussion at our previous meeting about, well, why are we tying ourselves to that? Well, we are because, Chair, you signed it. You signed the contract that tied all of us to it. He didn't sign it. Trustee Gualtieri didn't sign it. Chair, you signed it. Previous board counsel put this language in there, tied this board's hands. Now we have to honor that contract because it is a legal document. But that's all we need to do here. So clearly, we have to look at that report and quantify our administrator to some level in that report. And that report analyzes the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. The most rational comparison is to the executive branch, you start from the governor and work your way down to tier 1 directors, tier 2 directors, or deputy directors. And to find a comparison that we feel is comparable to our administrative position, because that's what's in our contract. So that's why I have grave reservations about the action item that is brought before this board, because I think all the other things can be discussed at another time. But what is most important is that we address the legal issues in this contract and what's before us. In addition to any substantial increase that this action item is proposing requires a budget realignment, a reforecasting of the entire OHA budget, and that requires the administrator to be part of that process and to be prepared in coordination with the chief financial officer to be brought before this board. That is not a process that can be circumvented. If you don't have a realignment, then you cannot adopt part 1 of your motion because frankly, it's too much money.
Thank you.
That's why I think we should focus on the simple task at hand, which is comply with the legal document, the contractual language that exists, compare it to the report that was submitted to the legislature, and find a number that we feel is appropriate based on that report. To Trustee Ahuna's point, performance evaluations for 2024 are currently being conducted. That needs to be finished. 2025 is right around the corner. And there may be salary increases based on minimum satisfactory or greater than satisfactory performance evaluations, but we're not there yet. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Chair Kahele. My concern basically came from the position of those who are paid much more than our position of the CEO. And that's probably where the overzealous aspect of myself and my team were needing to get this information so we can show a comparison of why it warrants that. But I would like to
And,
have a trustee.
and I will add, because you looked at other salaries,
I did.
Kamehameha Schools CEO salary. This board, via simple majority, we can approve of whatever salary amount we want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's not for today's discussion. So that's my point.
Mahalo, Chair Kahale. Go ahead, trustee.
So, thank you for the time. I recall in the last meeting, Chair, when we sent it back to the BNF committee, that you said very clearly, this is about the position and not the person. So with that in mind, I see that this action item before us is about both. So we need to take one out and comply, in which case, to your concern on the action item, we don't know who's going to be our next CEO. So I would say our present interim CEO is in conflict of interest to even participate in this. So, which means that I believe the chair of BNF has the authority, and it looks like she discussed it with Grace, who is right now the top person in our budget department. So what she presents, minus who it is, but the salary that she presents today, you said we don't have to listen to anything. So let's put the present administrator aside and just look at the position. Look at the position that you said we don't have to listen to the commission. Let's do what we want to do. So I would amend the motion to approve the numbers that she gave us today, because it's true that two of the people under the administrator is earning more than her, and that's not fair. Yes.
Sorry, I cannot raise my hand, but I would like to just say I'm ready to.
I have
comments too, but when I'm ready.
I have a motion to amend later, but with all due respect, Chair Emerita, that is not correct. I never ever suggested that we do not have to follow the Salary Commission's recommendations. We have to follow their recommendations
For the
because
trustee.
it is in the contract.
We
That
cannot
is-
end the contract,
Yeah, but that's not what's before us.
but we can.
We have a
recommend-
legal
Or
document,
did in discussion, so we can recommend a way to do.
but that's not agendized.
But we're not talking about the person, as you said.
We're talking about the contract, and the
Yes.
contract shall require us to
But it's not
increase.
anybody's contract that we're considering. It's just a contract. But we're not talking about the person. Remember, you said the position.
Right, I'm
So-
talking about contract number
No, it's not.
4374.
That's not in our agenda today. The agenda is the administrator's salary. It says right here, talking about no administrator. Could be Summer, could be Stacy. Who are we talking about? Could be Keshawn. You know what I mean? So,
Well, I'm even more of a no then.
huh?
I'm even more of a no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We cannot mix up person and position, because that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the position. That's what the agenda item is.
Hi, can I say something?
The motion references the commissions on salary report and recommendations and the contract. It says it in the motion. 4374. It's in motion number 1.
Then we need to correct the motion.
I mean, that's the Budget and Finance Chair's motion.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes,
can
go
hear
ahead.
you.
We can hear you now.
Okay. I'm really confused right now, and I heard a lot of contradicting statements, of what is going on here. Sounded like, when the HR guy came up and he said, "Oh, why he did certain things that we don't understand." Like sometimes I don't get what is going on, and what the reason why I'm saying this is because I expect good information coming to the table that gives us good understanding of things. And I am so lost. But the one thing that I'm concerned of is the I. I never hear we. Somebody wouldn't go rogue and go do this. And this is a liability for us. This is not good. This is not good. And now we have people now trying to say, oh, that's not true, and this is right. And well, we're so lost. We don't know where this came from. We're still doing our performance evaluation. This is like I'm lost. This is totally like beyond me. And I'm going to vote no too. So I just want you guys to know this. And I'm concerned about this committee right now. I really am. So sorry for saying that.
Go ahead, trustee Souza.
Sorry, somebody.
Oh, sorry.
John, I know you had your hand up. Is it okay if I go first?
Yeah, I was gonna call.
You know, I think we're missing the point, and I'm just as confused because I think every question we ask gets more blurry and more blurry, and they call on my because maybe I'm just not paying attention. But what I want to say is going back to the contract, which Chair Kahele mentioned earlier. We shouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation right now. And you know, the last time we met, I asked the board to please look over the CEO's contract. Look over every contract for that matter. We all have an opportunity to meet with Everett Ota if you want to go over contracts or requests. We are the trustees. So obviously, some of us haven't read the contract. But I want to point out a couple of things in the contract, if I may, Madam Chair. Now, on page 3 of the contract, CEO contract, it states this amount may increase. So for those of us who understand the legal verbiage, shall, you must, may, optional. Okay. May increase based upon a satisfactory performance evaluation and consistent with HRS section 26-52, section 3. Now this part says shall include, so we must adhere to this. Shall include step increases in line with the Commission on Salaries report and recommendations to the 2024 legislature. And like Chair Kahele stated earlier, this contract was executed between potentially 3 parties: Judge Klein, Chair Emerita Hulu Lindsay, and obviously Stacey Ferreira. We shall. A contract is an agreement, right? Contract is agreement. In this contract in particular, between 2 parties, our CEO and the Office of Foreign Affairs, that is intended to be enforceable by law. I don't intend to break any law here today, guys. I don't intend to break any law here. So what I'm saying is, unless there's an amendment to her current contract, that there's an option to go outside of what we agreed to, we are in breach of contract. Contract goes 2 ways. We would be in breach of contract if we chose to rip this thing up right now and say that we can make whatever decision we want. And then on top of that, it's not agenda, it's sunshine law. We don't care. Is that what we're saying? That's absolutely unacceptable. And I cannot believe with people watching, with people in the room, we're even discussing stuff like this. We need to hold ourselves accountable to our beneficiaries, to administration, to the parties involved. We need to get it right. We need leadership here. We need leadership. This is unacceptable for a committee to bring this to the board. Absolutely unacceptable. And put the trustees and potentially administration from HR to our financial people, Grace Chen, in a predicament where we have to cover up a mess. This is an absolute mess. And I cannot believe there's leadership here who don't care enough, right, so that they would bring something like this to the board and make us sit around and have one. To me, it's not a valuable conversation here. Our beneficiaries are sitting out there waiting for us to do something. I'm glad we approved grants today. That's the best thing we did. Best thing we did. Thousands of dollars. Thank God. Because if not, we would have been sitting here getting nothing done. And that concerns me. We have trustees flying in, we have a budget. We gotta get this done, and today is not the day.
Mahalo.
Chair.
Go ahead, trustee Lindsay.
If we don't, maybe we can defer this matter.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, trustee Wahe.
Okay, I think, I mean, if we defer it, though, I do want to give you some clue as to what we are gonna want, but yeah, so I just wanted to clarify, Luana, the 270, the number, our increase you came up with was based on, you wanted it higher than the CFOs, but, and kind of within range of the investment directors' salaries. And so then that's something kind of, I'm just trying to, I'm asking how that number I came up with 270 and and 35% as an increase. Was it based on putting it kind of within range of those numbers?
Yes, when we were looking at the appropriate amount for the CEO and looking past the salaries of other department heads that obviously fall under her leadership. To start at 250,000, but we're looking at, that was our starting point. And looking, when we're working with Grace and Ryan, our team, this is something that the numbers, when we're working those numbers in, what would be the most appropriate. And this is how we were able to come to that. It's not nowhere near that we're going to say that the CEO is going to be more than the budget and finance. I mean, I'm sorry, the Ryan's position as our investment director. So the whole idea was to have and to ensure that our trustees put into place the right CEO that will be able to carry out the strategic plan, and that the compensation for that would be equitable.
Okay. Can I ask questions too, like Everett and Corey?
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe Everett, the first question, I'm almost going to ask this question when it deals with the administrative salary, because I don't believe, I mean, I don't agree that, I don't think that we can just pay the administrator anything we want. So my question is, does this salary, would it comply with chapter 10-11, 270, which is that it should not exceed department heads and executive directors?
Yeah, go ahead, Everett, please. And Corey, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Alapa, and good afternoon, trustees. To Trustee Wahe's question, yes, this is compliant with HRS 10-11, which provides that the salary of the administrator shall not exceed the salary of department heads or executive officers established by law. That basically refers to other state executives or department heads. Or I guess it could be county as well, but it's ones that are not in the private or nonprofit sector. So although those can be used, as reference points for maybe recruitment purposes,
and there are department heads that get paid 270,000.
yes, although they are not within kind of the executive branch, the main executive branch. Those ones I think are largely covered by this commission, the salary commission report, but there are executives under, established in state government entities such as the Hawaii State Hospital Corporation, I think it's EUTF. There are directors that are established at a higher they have higher salaries within state government.
And also, like I can appreciate when trustees make recommendations, because I've when I was chair, I've done things like that. But in those kind of scenarios, for me, I still want to know, I still want to know what admin's recommendations are from the people within admin that we hire to be the experts in those fields. I'm guessing that
that Corey and you were not, you guys don't have you guys don't have a admin recommendation for what you think the base salary of the administrator should be. I mean, well, for this meeting, did you guys have a recommendation or?
No,
and guess-
I do not have a recommendation regarding the salary, aside from, ensuring the salary in this action item, is otherwise compliant.
When, and I'm asking, maybe you don't know this answer, but when the salary commission made their recommendations for the increases in the department heads and those things, did they justify their reasons for how they came to the numbers they did, like specifically, like because of these factors, we took that into account to increase the salary beyond. What I mean is, are those kind of rationales things we could use to recommend a base salary for the administrator that's a little more detailed than, we just want it to be higher than the CFO salary that we approved. I don't know what the salary commission's rationales were, but I'm assuming there's more substance to it than that. Maybe we can use those kind of rationales, I don't know, to make a recommendation of a base salary for the administrator for the next meeting or whenever we bring this back up again.
Yes, trustee, hey, there are, additional analysis provided in the salary commission's report. I don't have that in front of me for comparison purposes, but I think that could be used as a further reference point for this board's further consideration.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Do you have any recommendations? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so well, good afternoon, first of all, trustees. But to Chair Kahela's earlier comment, I did provide the recommendation, again, given my understanding of the Salary Commission's report. And I would also confirm, as Everett has, that they did have their analysis built into their commission report and how they got to the findings that they did. So yeah, I think you all, can use that as a point of reference. That being said, it would be, your discretion and your judgment with regard to where the pay would land.
Sure, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to recognize Trustee Lindsay.
I have two questions. Chair Alapa, did you get any advice from our attorney and our, I see that you talked with Grace.
Grace and
to
Ryan.
come to the conclusions
Yes.
of what you presented today.
That's what we worked on with Grace and Ryan. But no, I didn't consult with an attorney per se.
Okay. Well, the next question I want to ask is, how did we come to the conclusion of $250,000 for the two leaders that we're looking for right now? That's part of the discussion.
I think we're probably deciding on that, Madam Chair, sorry, but that's not on the agenda today.
We're discussing salaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
What do we have to hide? I need the information so that I can participate.
Again, Madam Chair, I don't think that's pertinent to our conversation today, as stated in the action
I
item.
understand this. I have, I guess, go ahead, Chair Kahele.
Thanks, Chair. I have a couple questions for Everett and Corey. So, Everett, to Trustee Wahe's previous question, right? HRS 1011 says the salary of the administrator shall be established by the board, provided that such salary shall not exceed the salary of department heads or executive officers established by law. Correct?
Yes.
So when I look at the salary commission's report, department heads, I think anyone would, I hope, agree that that would be members of the governor's cabinet and the directors of departments.
Yes.
Executive officers, I would say, is the governor, the lieutenant governor. I guess you could say the mayors. But I think it would be a stretch to look at HHSC administrators or executives. And so when I look at the Executive Salary Commission's recommendations, the proposed salary in this action item far exceeds a department director or a member of the executive branch. I mean, the governor's salary effective 1 July 2025 is $217,000. A department director is $206,000. This proposal starts at $250,000. So I think the proposal is in violation of 1011. And I think it would be a stretch to try and find some other position outside of the governor, the lieutenant governor, or one of these cabinet level director positions that are much lower than what this action item is recommending. I think it's a slippery slope to try and cherry pick some other position within state government that doesn't fall in those two categories. That's my own opinion. And I think if I'm a member of the general public, I probably would feel the same way. My second question and maybe this would be a question for you and both of you, Corey and Everett. And again, I keep coming back to the contract that this board has with its administrator, the contract that is also in the first part of the motion in this action item. And part of the sense of urgency at this board table to ensure that we are in compliance with the contract is because of the language that I've repeated now at multiple meetings that needs to be addressed. So if we continue to push this to the right and not address that particular provision in the contract, effective 1 July 2025, when all the other salaries in the executive, legislative, and judicial branch did take effect, like what is that putting this board in violation of the contract? That's a question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
From a legal perspective.
Thank you, Trustee Chair Kahele. So in my reading of the contract, no, it does not put us in legal risk under this for failing to adopt any kind of increase to the administrator's CEO's salary under the contract. It is a may in terms of the increase provided. This amount may increase. So this amount referring to the amount of $200,000 in the annual salary of the CEO as set forth in the prior sentence. So this amount may increase and consistent with HRS 2652 shall include step increases in line with the salary commission. In that sense, the proposal again meets this minimum requirement in as much as the step increases, right? The percentage step increases are in line, actually matching in this case the salary commission's recommendations. It also, that's just as to the step increases. The salary commission in its work also had, larger amounts, increases that were not of a certain percentage that they applied to, I think all of the direct executives and directors within the salary commission's report. But those are not the step increases that I see as the minimum requirement of the contract. As to your first question, you know, I understand your position, and I certainly think it's, you know, not unreasonable to equate the administrator CEO's salary to executive branch officers and directors of the departments, state departments. However, that's again not what I read as narrowly in HRS 1011, right, which just provides for the ceiling of the administrator's salary to be that of executive officers established by law without regard to anybody within the executive branch or the, you know, a member actually of the executive branch. And I think there are other places in which that distinction is made, but in the case of HRS 1011, it's really department heads or executive officers established by law. So I read that to be, you know, state or government rather, positions in Hawaii.
So just so I'm clear, the second part of the contract where it says shall include step increases in line with the Commission on Salaries reporting recommendations shall include. You're telling me that that is discretionary. It is not mandatory.
I read that to be if there is an increase to the salary amount, then it's to include that, it's to include that element in its increase.
So we are not required, despite the Commission's report, to include a step increase to the administrator's base salary of $200,000.
That is
discretionary.
That is my position, based on a reading of this.
Is that yours, Corey?
I thought actually. I refer to Everett. Sorry, I actually thought we needed to, but I'll defer to Everett for his legal expertise.
Well, he's our general counsel, so it's discretionary. It's not mandatory.
That's how I read the contract. If there's a different interpretation, you know, provided by counsel or otherwise, I'd certainly be open to be, you know, corrected or having a further discussion with counsel on that.
Yes, Capono?
So I think, Everett, if I may, my understanding of your position is the shall modifies the may increase, and that's all it is. It is not the shall has anything to do with we shall have this increase. It is you may increase, and your calculation shall include this as as part of the calculation. Am I stating that accurately?
Yes.
I think that's a valid position to take.
Okay.
I think that, like, I have no disagreement with that. That is acceptable to say the increase talks about is a may. And when you're doing that calculation, you shall take into account the increase. So if you're doing the calculation, my reading would be that you could not consider less than what was being listed by the legislature in the committee reports.
Okay. Thanks, Chair.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Everett, I just wanted
Trustee
to,
go ahead.
just for like information, back to chapter 10, 11. You know, early on when I was at OHA, I was kind of like Luana. I wanted to give the administrator at the time a raise. And back then, the department head salaries were all kind of, it was much simpler than it is now. And it was kind of obvious what the salary range was. And the administrator at the time was very clever. And he said, he just said, well, you know, the university president is a department head, and that was getting paid much more than the department heads. But then somebody wrote when we asked for the AG's opinion, they said the intent of the law was not to be used that way, and we couldn't use the UH president, the UH president's salary to determine our administrators. That was the AG's opinion, that to determine his salary. But then that's, it's not, I mean, it doesn't mean that they were right, but that was what happened way back then.
I mean, I think I think we dealt with that question in setting the initial salary under the CEO. I mean, if we're looking at, under the CEO's contract, the increases I think we were looking at, right, are, the amount that's currently set under the CEO's salary was higher than what the governor was making at the time.
Chair wasn't involved with SAP.
Okay.
We had nothing to do with the SAP. Just came to me for signature.
What's that?
Speaking to the mic.
I was saying that the contract drawn up by Klein, I had nothing to do with the amount of the salary. It came to me in finished product. And that's the kind of dependence that we have on attorneys. So if it's, I would assume that it was worked out between our staff as far as the number, because I was just as shocked to see the $200,000. So
That's, I'm sorry, that's not true.
that is true.
No, it's not. I reviewed the meetings and the minutes, and this was one of the demands, and it was quoted as a demand
By who?
by the current CEO.
Not to me.
Not to you,
Yeah.
but that was one of her requests, along with Christmas vacation and to start on November 17th.
You made her,
She set that amount
not to me though, not to the
because
chair.
this board had a robust discussion of where the salary was at the time and the potential increase she was asking for. So she asked for that, and that was the request that was honored.
Well, I believe it was honored because that's
Yeah.
what the contract reads.
Right.
But I didn't have any personal.
You guys discussed that
input in it. Yeah.
extensively.
Is someone talking or no one's talking?
Nobody talking.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
I
Okay.
recommended that we
Didn't hear
defer
anyone,
this.
that's
Second.
Second.
No, I want to vote for this. I want to vote on this because this is like ridiculous to me.
Let's call for the vote.
Let's call for the vote.
What? Two things. I think trustee Ohuno was talking,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
but also before we call for a vote, we have to ask if anyone has, wants to testify on that. We didn't hear
Public testimony.
public testimony.
Do you have anyone testifying on this, Pohai?
We don't have anyone signed up.
The motion was to defer.
Can I be recognized?
Yes, absolutely.
So I think the only issue with deferring is that this action item has brought public scrutiny to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And this board. That article wasn't just unique to the BNF chair, it included all the trustees. And so I think we should take a vote on that action item. Because I think we owe that to our fiduciaries and the media coverage that action item got, that this board should take a definitive position on that. If it does not pass, we can go back to the drawing board, or we can punt this to a different time. But I think to defer it as lingering negative consequences on this board.
Mahalo for that. Completely understand. I just want to let our board know that there's no ever my intent to undermine or do anything for the trustees and the decision they're about to make. Perhaps I have, and Kalamaya, my apologies to you, Chair Kahale, because I may have misunderstand the directive in which we're trying to arrive to a decent salary for the position of, and that's perhaps in the way in which we were working together to come about with the appropriate amount. And I can see how that is triggered. And this is no intent to do any harm whatsoever because of what we're trying to do to ensure that our CEO position is paid appropriately. And perhaps this wasn't the timing. Apparently, was not good. So I would like at this time to honor the deferral. I know we had a second, or did you want?
I would like to call for the vote.
Okay,
Let's call for the roll call vote.
all right.
I would like to call for the vote.
The original motion.
The chair.
Sorry, yeah, I did.
Keep quiet.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you heard roll call.
Just for clarification, the motion is,
Just for clarification, I can't hear anything. No one's talking in their mics. I need to know what we're voting on.
Trustee Ahuna would like clarification of what exactly the motion is before us.
So it was the first motion brought, motion 1, FY 2025, FY 2026, the annual salary increases for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs OHA Administrator position based on the established contract.
Okay,
Annual
thank you.
start date of November 21st, 2023, FY 2024.
To be deferred.
Thank
or
you.
That's the motion.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
He's going to
Motion.
restate that because we made an adjustment there.
The motion as was originally stated was to approve the following FY 2025 and FY 2026 annual salary increases for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs Administrator based on the established contract, annual start date of November 1, 2025, to be as follows. FY 2025 base salary at $260,000, retroactive to November 1, 2024, and to reflect 12 months. November 1st, 2024 through October 31, 2025, and FY 2026 base salary at $270,400 as of November 1, 2025 through October 31, 2026, a 4% increase from the FY 2025 base salary in line with salary steps increases in the Commission on the Salaries Report and recommendations as provided in Contract 4374.
So, roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna.
I just looked up the civil beat thing. I had no idea. This is an absolute no. I cannot believe that this is going on. No.
Trustee Akaka.
Ole.
Trustee Galataria.
No.
Trustee Kahele.
No.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Souza.
No.
Trustee Waihe'i.
No.
Chair Lapa.
Aole.
Motion.
Did you hear my Ole vote? I don't know if
Yes.
it wasn't acknowledged. Thank you.
Yes, we recorded you.
Motion.
Yeah, and Trustee Alapa, did you vote no too?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you wasted our time.
All right, thank you, trustees. We're going to move on to the. Huh. Oh, yeah, yeah. I know. All right, so we got last two, this is to improve BF 25-96. We have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
There are no testifiers.
Okay, so action item BF 2596, approval to add and incorporate the new federally funded Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, Brownfields Assessment Grant into 526, 527 OHA Biennium budget as described in EPA Cooperative Agreement 49-97T4060 awarded to OHA in June of 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Wahehe, and discussion, trustees. All right, let's,
yes,
do we have
can I get-
anyone
can I-
signed up for this item? Oh my gosh, are we having? I'm.
Trustee
Can you
O'Huna?
hear us, Trustee Ohuna?
Yes, I would like to get somebody to speak on it. I would like an
Yes,
attorney.
that's
so
what
we
I
can
had
get good
asked for, a
information.
testifier.
Yeah, so before you
We
ask
do
for-
have one coming.
Oh, okay. I don't want to testify. I want.
Go ahead. Oh, Grace is unmuted.
Just to be clear, Chair, are you asking for a testifier or asking for an administrator to speak on it? To give us information?
We have a present, are you doing a presentation? Oh. So Grace is leading this action item. Trustee Ohuna.
Okay, so it's not open.
Go
for
ahead,
questions.
Grace.
Aloha trustees, today we're presenting to you for budget realignment approval and the approval to add and incorporate the new federal funded Environmental Protection EPA Brownfields Assessment Grant into the fiscal 26 and 27 budget as described in the EPA Cooperative Agreements. Number 4B 97T 4060 awarded to the OHA, to OHA. It also has come to my attention after this action item was filed that and we like clarifications at this time that before presenting to the BNF whether or not it should have been routed through the IALMA committee, since this is relating to land use.
Thank you. Any discussion at this time?
I would agree. I would agree. Mahalo, thank you.
Go ahead.
So Lori, this is great, $2 million. Kakakamakai, we always hear about the brownfields boogeyman down there. Is this can be deployed into those potential remediation? Yeah.
Yes, so the scope of this, the grant activities includes, this is the initial components. We'll do an initial assessment of what the level of contamination is on several of our Kaka'akamakai parcels. And then that will support a recommendation for cleanup activities.
Would there be any resources that can be used in this for cleanup, or is this just assessment?
There's a follow-up grant potential, right? We can apply post this assessment for additional funds to do cleanup. So we have we're building relationship with the EPA, and I think activating, implementing, executing this grant will allow us a little bit more leeway for that. It's a different grant, though. Cleanup grants are separate from this.
When can we start? And what lots do we intend to start with?
I'm gonna call up my land agent, La'Akea, who's been helping coordinate the EPA grant.
And while he's coming up, the only reason I ask is there is major construction projects happening about 500 feet across the street.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work that the private developers have already done
Mhm.
and are doing in remediation and soil remediation as relates to these types of environmental issues. And so at least our properties along Ala Moana Boulevard,
Mhm.
from Forest Avenue to Ward Avenue, would be the ones that we
To
could focus.
prioritize.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think,
The deeper you go towards the ocean, the closer you get to where the incinerator was and those areas that maybe have higher levels of toxicity in the soil, you know, so just was wondering where we're gonna start.
yeah, if you could specify a timeline of grant activities.
Yeah, so we're required to, within 18 months, to begin phase two assessments. We intend, or we're planning to do 5. We've previously done 5 in the past at our Kaka'ako properties. We're planning to do a phase 2 assessment on our parcel B, parcel K, parcel F and G, and L, and then, if possible, here at Nalama Kukui.
But
Yeah.
I has one that was previously done. So if I didn't name the parcels, we've had a phase 2 completed previously. We are required to do 10, so we will be performing an assessment of all the properties to see if there's anything else we can do on the properties.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you so much, Lori. All right, at this time, we would like to have a motion. Thank you, Trustee Wahehe. At this time, any discussion? And seeing none, let's take a vote. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna,
Yes.
Trustee Akaka, Trustee Galutaria, Trustee Kahele,
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Souza,
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe,
Yes.
Chair Lapa,
Yes.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
motion passes.
Chair Lapa, may I follow up with my question? Trustee
Yes, go
Souza
ahead, Grace.
Trustee Souza mentioned that yes, he would have liked to that this had passed through the IML committee. So like requesting trustee guidance on what we should do next.
Well, I think the next phase should be Lorian presenting.
I'm so sorry, but I called for the vote. You called, I voted already.
Sorry, Dan. I was just responding to Grace's
I
question.
voted already.
Yep.
I voted already. How are we gonna do that?
Oh, no. You know, Grace, we'll take this offline. I'll address that offline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. All right, and our last item is 25-97. Do we have anyone signed up for this item?
We have no testifiers.
Okay, action item BF 25-97 is to approve and authorize the transfers of $50,000 from the fiscal year 2026, the OHA Biennium Budget Contracts Account Code 57110, Services on a Fee Basis, to grants. Account Code 56530, Grants and Aid, Community Grants, under Strategy and Implementation Program 7130, Health Outcomes for Board Directed Grant to Hui Malama o Kanaio Olumua for Ki'i and Mea Kapu acquisition. Do we have any testifiers?
There are no testifiers.
I understand we have a presenter. Please quickly come up.
So I'll move it. So move, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry. Sorry, thank you for that. Trustee Wahehe.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and trustees. So the $50,000 currently quoted under services on a fee basis should be recoded under grants and aid to accurately reflect the Board of Trustees' original intent and to ensure proper compliance with OHA's procurement and grant-making policies. When the board approved this allocation, it was with the express purpose of supporting Hui Malama o Kanaio Oluma's cultural restoration efforts. specifically the acquisition of Ki'i and Meakapu, integral to the restoration of Kaniolu Mahea in Kauai. So if this allocation remains categorized as fee-for-service, OHA will technically become the procuring entity for these sacred cultural items. This would require OHA to follow an extensive procurement and disposition process. So the more appropriate and cultural aligned mechanism is a grant. A grant allows OHA to fund a nonprofit directly to steward and commission these items consistent with their cultural protocols and community leadership. So reclassifying this allocation from fee for service to grants, therefore both honors the trustee's intent and maintains clear administrative, fiscal, and cultural integrity. So trustees, if it is your pleasure, I respectfully request your approval to authorize the transfer of this $50,000 from contracts account to the grants account in alignment with its original purpose and intent. I'm available for any questions.
Go ahead, trustee Kahale.
So Koike, if we get this done at the board level, in a few weeks, I know this is something been on our radar for a while. So how quick can we get the funds moved and work with the recipient and actually get the Ki'i on site to, you know, Uncle Rupert and Koloa and the community there?
Mahalo, Chair Kahale, for your question. So we're currently working with grants, and we're already trying to push out the application for an expedited process. So if you folks do approve it today, and then the next step is BOT. Soon after that, if we get the approval there, then we can already initiate that process, and then hopefully in the next few weeks, we can already issue or move the funds over to the community nonprofit. So that's our goal. You know, this entire time we've been trying to work through and with the procurement PAIA to try and figure out the cleanest way to administer the funds. So we're hopeful that within the next few weeks we can administer it. It's not a promise right now to you or anyone else, but that is our goal.
Great.
Anyone else? Seeing none at this time, mahalo Koike. All right, can we have roll call, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a motion.
Trustee Ahuna,
Yes.
trustee Akaka, trustee Galutaria, trustee Kahele,
Aye.
trustee Lindsay,
Jeez.
trustee Souza,
Aye.
trustee Wahe'i,
Yes.
chair Lapa,
Yes.
trustee Akaka,
Aye.
motion
Aye.
passes. Motion passes.
Okay, I thought I heard another aye. Mahalo for that. At this time, we have, what a meeting and, opportunity to, express and discuss. And thank you trustees for your, mana'o. I greatly appreciate your input. And it helps me to understand a lot more in the way in which we as a board operate so we can come to make the best decisions for our lahui. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Or
Can we
did
do
you
an
want to say
announcement?
something?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
mind? Can we recognize?
Yes, of course. I recognize.
Just,
Kahele.
I wanted to mention it when we finish the sponsorships, but, well, first of all, thank you for bringing, those robust package of sponsorships to our,
Yeah.
committee, and looking forward to the other two, once they're properly vetted coming back. But when looking at all of the sponsorships and seeing everything that's being, afforded to OHA at these events, from tables to speaking opportunities to a whole bunch of stuff. One recommendation for the administration, and I know Lisa and Chantel and the team have been, you know, and we're advertising the community brand engagement position that's on our website to hire. is maybe having like a living document, which is like a spreadsheet that has all of these events that we have approved. And then all the categories of things that the recipients are affording to OHA and tracking them to see if we can meet them. Like if there's a speaking opportunity at an event, how can we ensure that we're proactively tracking that and we're extending those opportunities for speaking opportunities to either trustees or members of the administrative team that can go? I see so many missed opportunities for OHA at these Ho'akoa'okoa events. And we saw the power of the Hawaiian Registry program at the convention. I mean, my dream one day is we're doing HRP cards at these events that we're sponsoring, especially ones that we have tables at and we have a physical presence at. So maybe when looking at all of these sponsorships, administration could put together some type of mechanisms that we can track them and that we can be reaching out to how we can take advantage of these things that we ask for in our applications, the recipients give to us, we give thousands of dollars to, and then we never fulfill those opportunities that we have.
Amen.
So it's just a suggestion.
No, I love that, because I like to see more of us getting involved. And we, like you said, we have so many missed opportunities that we should have really honestly have been there, in whatever capacity we could serve. What I'm finding, people love when we show up.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it from all over. When I've gone to events, and it's like, oh, great, OHA showing up. And that to me says a signal to us, we need to do a lot of more showing up for our people, and especially for the events that's all relevant. But I like that suggestion, so thank you for that. That'd be great.
And that position that we funded, like that is that person's goal, and that's their whole sole purpose for being here is to run point on that, and then have I think is it a deputy or an assistant in the second year to help support, right? And so, but hopefully we can find someone that's a great fit, and welcome to them to our Ohana as part of our team. But in the meanwhile, be a great suggestion.
Yes, thank you so much for that.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead, Trustee
To follow up
Galateri.
on that, and this is more an internal Ohana Kahea, but in a couple of weeks, BAE is going to ask everybody to hold up their registry cards. So if you don't have it by now, get them.
Include staff too.
Good staff. Yeah,
Staff.
yeah. I met the staff and the trustees, everybody. Okay, thank you.
Where's the machine? If we need it now. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn. Did we just adjourn? Okay, we didn't, anything else? Any other 2 cents trustees you want to add? John?
I move to adjourn.
All right, second. Roll call.
Trustee Ahuna.
Kanalua.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Chair Lapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galutaria.
Aye.
Trustee Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay not here. Trustee Souza.
Aye.
And Trustee Wahe.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Oh, Trustee Ahuna.
Thank you for calling me. Yes.
Why can't I hear you?
He said yes. He said yes.
Said yes.
Okay.